some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queens.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? much wanna mind you thugs. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I...
Please hold.
Yep.
Diddy on line 3.
Take a message.
I did that, sir.
Tell him stop calling.
I tried that, but he said he can't stop, won't stop. He's calling now.
God, I need your help.
Cheryl, I'm not about to... What?
God, I beg you, I beg
Look,
you, I beg you.
look.
Please, please.
I can't help you, okay? Usually I can do all things, but this is impossible.
It's not impossible.
We saw the tape. Okay? We saw the tape. You gonna say that wasn't you, all bloated, running down the hall?
I ain't gonna lie.
Well, yeah, well, that's the first. You are ridiculous. Now, is there anything else before I block your blessings?
Everybody.
Well, that's why you're here in the first place.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did that.
To apologize. It's too late.
When I did it, I was fucked up.
Too late to apologize.
I was fucked up.
It's too late.
When I did it, I was fucked up. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? You know you done fucked up.
All right. Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Also, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel because you know how people mysteriously become unsubscribed. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. Also, as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. All right, Mr. Elevation, Obsidian Blaze, Nita's and Mike's World, Tawana is here, Pearly, Claudette, Mary, Danielle. All right, beloved. Miss AP is in the house. So we the people. Okay, so let's get into it. Priscilla, Jeff ATL, Claudette. All right, Nessie X, DJ Big Six is in the house. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Re-Educated Soul, Sandra, Deronda is in here. Okay, so let's get this party started. Because the Queen doesn't have time to tarry this morning, okay? I don't have time to tarry this morning, beloveds, all right? I got a project I got to start working on right after this, so let's get into it. So I've told you all a myriad of times that Diddy allegedly had something to do with Tupac and, in fact, paid $1 million to put out the hits and Zip ran off with the money, allegedly. So now this story has come back out as all things are coming out on Diddy, okay? And so a former LAPD detective alleges that Diddy ordered a $1 million hit on Tupac and Suge Knight. All right, and this is what he has to say. So let's get into it. Shocking allegations against Diddy only continue to surface as the Bad Boy Records founder fights various lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault, abuse, and more. Now, recently, for example, a former LAPD detective who was involved in investigating Tupac's death, as well as Biggie's, spoke with the New York Times. Now, the ex-detective Greg Kading recalled a disturbing alleged admission from Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. Keefe D. was arrested last year for his alleged involvement in Tupac's 1996 murder. Now, remember, I also played for you all on a previous broadcast the audio, okay, the audio of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis talking to Detective Greg Kading. Now, Kading claims that Keefe D. accused Diddy of ordering a hit on Tupac, as well as Suge Knight, back in 1995. He says that Keefe D. recalled the mogul holding a meeting about it in a hotel room during Summer Jam tour. Allegedly, Diddy told a room full of alleged Crips that he wanted the duo's heads. Wright said he wanted their heads. And remember, Gene Dill said that Diddy, he quoted Diddy as saying, "I don't care if Tupac gotta die, Biggie gotta die, and Suge Knight goes to jail." And then Tupac died, Biggie died, and Suge Knight went to jail. So please pay attention. Now, moreover, Kading says that Keefe D. also admitted to allegedly being offered $1 million for Diddy, by Diddy for the murders, saying, "Man, we'll wipe their aces out quick," he allegedly replied. Now, the following year, Tupac was shot in a drive-by in Vegas shortly after an alleged physical altercation with Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, at a Mike Tyson fight. Now, the icon succumbed to his injuries at a hospital just a few days later. Ahead of his 2023 arrest, Keefe D wrote about his beef with Tupac in his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend. Now, he claimed that he had obtained a gun before searching the city for Tupac and Knight. Eventually, he admitted to handing off the weapon to his nephew. He alleged that Anderson went on to shoot Tupac 4 times, ultimately taking his life. Now, what do you think of ex-LAPD detectives Greg Kading's account of Keefe D's shocking alleged admissions? Well, I think that he's telling the truth. That's what I think. So is anyone surprised that Diddy is accused of these things? Because I'm not. Now, those of you who watch my TikTok videos, you know that I did a TikTok about that. But hold on. Because you may also remember that Diddy was questioned about it, or Charlamagne the Devil attempted to question him about it on Breakfast Club, and Diddy cut that conversation real short with his response. Okay, so I'm going to play that in just a second. Now, LAPD Detective Greg Kading is the one who made these claims against Diddy. He's one of the detectives who was heavily involved in the murder investigation of Tupac. The murder itself wasn't completed until September 1996, because, mind you, Diddy supposedly had this meeting in 1995. Okay, so Tupac was hit 4 times. Suge Knight suffered head injuries, from the shrapnel or the grapple. 6 days after the event, Tupac died in the hospital from his injuries. But Keefe D confessed that it was Diddy. That was the one who ordered the hit during that meeting in 95 amongst Crip gangsters who were all in attendance. According to the retired cop, Keefe D agreed to take the blame for the murder in exchange for $1 million. Now, this all supposedly happened during the Summer Jam tour in Anaheim. And as I said, but here's the other interesting thing. Foxy Brown is supposed to be a key witness in all of this. So we'll get into that in a second. First, let me bring up this Breakfast Club interview, and I'm going to put an overlay on the screen as to avoid any copyright issues with ScrewTube. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Now, just watch Diddy's demeanor when Charlamagne the Devil starts asking him questions. Uh-oh. Hold on, beloveds. Put up the wrong thing. Hold on just a second. In the meantime, please do me a favor and get the likes up, okay? the likes don't be matching the views. And it doesn't cost you anything to like the video. And if you don't, in fact, like the video, why are you here, beloveds? Okay, so hold on. I'm making this overlay real quick. Give me just a second. Okay, here we go. This is more like it. In my haste to get this done, I forgot to delete the background. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, there we go.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect. But I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Charlamagne is such a coward. First of all, it's interesting how he has all that smoke for some guests who come on the show, but then some of them, he absolutely is afraid of them, talking about which we don't believe, by the way. Well, if you didn't believe it, then why did you even bother to ask the question? That's what I'd like to know. But I digress. Now, let's go to this other video real quick. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm waiting for this to cue after this advertisement, beloveds. Hold on just a second. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to put the overlay up again just to avoid any copyright claims.
You believe behind all of this is Puffy. You've said this yourself, with $1 million, whether it was $1 million, whether it wasn't $500,000.
Hold on. Hold on, beloved. Something's playing in the background. Hold on. Give me just a second. There's a pop-up that started playing in the background. Okay, so let me try this again. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see if it works this time.
You believe behind all of this is Puffy. You've said this yourself, with $1 million, whether it was $1 million, whether it wasn't $500,000.
Okay, I don't know why this pop-up keeps playing. Hold on. This is about to get on my darn nerves. Hold on, let me see what I can do about this. Let me see how I can stop this thing from playing. Okay, so I muted it again. Let me just wait until it looks like it's trying to finish. Hold on, beloved. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. Please don't start playing again, or I'm just going to give up, because I don't have all day. And neither do you. Hold on. Here we go. Maybe Diddy put voodoo on it. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we go.
Believe behind all of this is Puffy. You've said this yourself, with $1 million, whether it was $1 million, whether it wasn't $500,000. Tell us a little bit about that.
What I believe happened with Puffy was that, again, I don't think he wanted this conflict to get worse than it already was. And if he could figure out a way to quell that, he would. In fact, we have a statement saying that Puffy had reached out to the members of the Nation of Islam to approach Suge Knight and say, hey, let's have a peace treaty, let's squash this thing, but Suge wanted nothing to do with it. So he was trying to get out from under this imposing threat, knowing that Suge held him responsible for the murder of his friend, and whenever he would come to LA, he knew that Suge Knight was trying to hunt him down. We have a reported incident, an investigation where Suge Knight had accosted one of his associates at a Christmas party in Los Angeles, and they beat the living shit out of this guy. He almost lost his eye in an attempt for these guys to gain knowledge about where he lived in Los Angeles. So he undoubtedly becomes aware of the fact that these guys are actively hunting me down. They're kidnapping, assaulting people. My life's definitely in harm's way. And so I think that out of that desperation and fear, he turned to the streets and said, can you guys kind of handle this for me? Because he knew that if you're going to deal with these gang members, then the best thing to do is get their natural enemies to do the work for you.
And is that the $1 million? $1 million was on the...
According to Keefe D, he says there was a kind of a loose conversations at Greenblatt's up on Sunset in which Puffy allegedly tells Keefe D, listen, I'm gonna whatever it takes to get these guys off my back. I need you to take care of them. He says we wanted $1 million. Diddy's like whatever, but again, I have to couch that with the understanding that he was in fear for his life.
I fully get that.
Yeah,
I fully get that. So, but the $1 million is from him, but you don't know really if it's $1 million or it's $500,000. Because
I think it's just boastful talking.
Okay, got it.
You know, it's like if I see a really nice car that I like to purchase from you, and I just, man, I'll give you $1 million for that.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of like loose.
So how about the part where Zip gives him the gun? He says, listen, right now's the time to do it. Everyone's in town. Go to 662. Here's the gun that I have. He leaves it to him with the car.
Right.
He gives him the gun. And then afterwards, when they talk on a call, he says, was that us? And they're on the call together listening, and Zip says, yes, that was us.
Keefe says, yes, that was us.
Yes, that was us.
Yeah.
Keefe says that was us. And then he says, we'll take care, Zip says, we'll take care of the money. 6 weeks later, he's not getting the money. And, he's finding out maybe he didn't get paid. And then afterwards, he meets with an associate of P. Diddy, Puffy, saying, yeah, we did pay, but Zip kept it. And then when they met, is that all been verified that maybe he did keep the money or they did not pay?
We don't have anything to validate other than his claim.
Got it.
He's claiming that he had people that were closely associated with Eric, with Zip, that told him, hey, Puffy paid $500,000 and Zip kept the money. So that's his claim. We do know that these two people do exist and that they were associated with him, but those people have never verified that. So that unpaid debt was definitely never collected.
So why were you removed from the case in 2009, or a year before your retirement?
Okay, so he says the payment was never collected. Now, some say that the payment was made and that Zip ran off with the money. Okay, so now I'm going to go to a TikTok video that I did like over a year ago about all this with more receipts. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Now that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis has been indicted on one count of red rum with a deadly weapon, was Diddy the one who initiated and orchestrated this hit? Let's get into it. In 2006, Voletta Wallace, the mother of Biggie Smalls, sued the LAPD for $500 million based on the fact that she believed the police covered up the death of her son. This led to the case being reopened, and it was given to Detective Greg Kading, who then said that he got new information leading him to believe that P. Diddy was involved and that the cases between Tupac and Biggie Smalls were in fact linked. Please pay attention. After working on the case for 3 years, Detective Kading says that he came to the conclusion that it was Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, who put out $1 million hit on Tupac and Suge Knight. He says the music mogul had close ties to LA gangs and hired Crips member Dwayne Keefe D. Davis to carry out the hits.
One day you get a call from Zip and he asks you to meet him at Greenblatt's Deli?
Yeah.
And what happens there?
We go there and what's her name? Angela Winbush. And what's his name? Mr. Pigs. He was all up there. We was up there eating and jelly and shit. Puffers was a couple of girls from the hood and shit. And then he took me downstairs, just got to talking and shit. Yeah.
TFD says that Puffy pulled him aside and basically solicited his assistants to take care of Suge. And of course, Tupac's name came up and he was kind of added to the list, according to TFD. And that's when there was a kind of a very vague discussion over money. And next thing you know, Las Vegas happened.
And in case you're wondering why Davis was doing all of this self-snitching, well, it's because when he met with the local and federal authorities in 2009, he actually confessed to all of this, but their agreement was that they wouldn't use any of this information against him. So he clearly thought he had immunity. You see, that was only specifically pertaining to the interview, however. It didn't have anything to do with him writing memoirs and going on other shows for interviews and running his mouth. Please pay attention.
This morning, new questions about why it took authorities 27 years to arrest 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Overnight, we spoke to the former investigator who worked on both the Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G.'s murder case, who says Davis set himself up.
He was under what we call the proffer agreement back in 2009 on his initial confession. And that agreement states that we can't use the information in that interview against him.
After being questioned in 2009, Davis gave multiple interviews and wrote a tell-all memoir detailing specifics about the night of the murder, including this one to BET.
You said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac? They keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat.
It was those public comments that reinvigorated the case.
He erroneously believed that he had immunity, which he never did. And so that gave him this sense of comfort, that thinking that he could go out and brag about being involved in the murder without any repercussions.
Kaden says the slaying was supposed to be carried out by Davis, but they mistakenly pulled up on the wrong side of Pac's car. And so therefore, his nephew, Orlando Babylane Anderson, is the one who did it. Now, Davis has alleged that Faith Evans actually knew about this entire plot to take the life of Tupac. He says that after it was done, he contacted both Evans and Diddy to let them know that they had done the job and that they were responsible for the death. Kaden says despite Biggie Smalls' beef with Tupac, he had absolutely nothing to do with it and he didn't even know about the plot, though they think that Faith knew. But at the end of the day, I find it interesting that Orlando Anderson is the one who was the trigger man when it wasn't even supposed to be him. But coincidentally, he was the one that got into a fight with Pac at the Vegas casino. Now, it's alleged that after narrowly escaping with his life, Suge Knight hired Blood Gang members to take out Biggie. They say that Biggie was slain on his way home from a party thrown by Vibe magazine. Interestingly enough, the documentary says that Suge Knight actually saw the face of the person who took Tupac's life, and that he also went to school with the hired hitman, Dwayne Keith D. Davis. With that all being said, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so all this stuff is resurfacing, and Diddy looks like he may be in some serious trouble, and I hope he is. Now, here's the thing. This, in my opinion, could have been solved a long time ago. For some reason, they were covering this up, and I think the reason was Diddy, okay, because Detective Greg Kading had a lot of information, and they took him off of the case. Why would they do that? He had a lot of information on both Tupac and Biggie's cases that he was working on, not to mention investigative journalist Chuck Phillips had information. And remember, I told you all when I reported on this before that basically they tried to say that his information was not correct. So the LA Times did a retraction, okay, on the story, basically saying that it was not true. So let's talk about that real quick. LA Times retracts Tupac's story implicating Diddy. You see, Diddy has connections to, or had connections at the time, to very high up people, and not to mention Diddy was at some point a confidential informant for the FBI himself. I've already shown you the receipts. He was working for a special agent by the name of Mark Parody. Okay, Paridy. That man is now 70-something years old, and he's not giving up any information on Diddy. But I showed you all the receipts, okay? So goes on to say the paper admits the story relied on fake FBI documents. Now, mind you, I told you all that these documents were reviewed by a former FBI agent. Now, you think that a former agent isn't able to, recognize false documentation when he sees them? That's why I believe that they just lied and covered it all up. Okay, so the Los Angeles Times already apologized for an article for a front page story that implicated Sean Diddy Combs in the 1994 New York shooting of late rapper Tupac Shakur. Now, mind you, this was in 2008 when the story came out. Now, on Monday, April the 7th, the paper retracted the story entirely, admitting that writer Chuck Phillips railed on fake FBI documents to build his flawed report. The retraction came 3 weeks after the paper's website published a story by Phillips, a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. And that's another thing. This man was a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist. You think that he's dumb enough to fall for fake documents, or specifically an FBI agent dumb enough to fall for it? Of course, I don't think so. And nor should you, because it sounds like a whole load of BS. But let me continue. Now, a Pulitzer Prize winning writer who has frequently investigated and reported on the murders of Shakur and the notorious B.I.G., titled An Attack on Tupac Shakur, launched a hip-hop war. That was the title of this article. Now, which alleged that associates of Combs had arranged the shooting of Shakur at a New York recording studio after the rapper had turned down offers to join Combs' Bad Boy Records label. In Monday's retraction, the Times reported that Phillips' story and the related fake documents have been removed from the paper's site because the article railed heavily on information that the Times no longer believes to be credible. Now, Combs told MTV News last week that the Times story and the attended press coverage was really hurtful. Okay, and he vehemently denied any involvement in the Shakur shooting, just like he did with all these allegations and lawsuits that have been filed against him, in the last year. So he said he had no involvement in the Shakur shooting from the moment the story was published. Now, a week after Phillips' article ran, the SmokingGun.com revealed that the documents Phillips used to build elements of his story appeared to have been faked by a noted forger and hip-hop player wannabe by the name of James Sabatino, who is currently in prison on charges of wire fraud and racketeering. Now, the paper issued an apology for the story on March 27th, but the other man implicated in Phillips' story, New York hip-hop manager Jimmy Rosemond, that's also Jimmy Henchman, who also stridently proclaimed his innocence, told MTV in an interview that he would like to see Phillips fired. Diddy isn't calling for such measures. Now, Rosemond's attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, who had threatened legal action following the publication of the original story, said in a statement released Monday on behalf of his client that we're pleased that the LA Times has gone further and admitted that not only were the FBI reports fake, which implicated Mr. Rosemond, but that the underlying claims about his involvement in the assault on Tupac were fake as well. Now, I want you all to pay attention to something. James Rosemond wanted to file a lawsuit against Chuck Phillips in the LA Times for the story coming out. Diddy didn't want to, he wanted him fired as well, But Diddy didn't want to do any of that. He wasn't calling for such measures. And why wouldn't Diddy be calling for such measures if he was completely innocent? Well, because if you want to file, a lawsuit against someone for defamation, libel, and slander, or if you want someone fired and things like that, well, there might be a whole lot of other questions that come into play. And then people may start digging and find out that, wait a minute, these allegations weren't false after all. Because the main thing about defamation, libel, and slander is you have to absolutely prove that the person lied. So I believe that's why Diddy didn't want to press the issue. He just took the apology and that was fine for him. Now, they say, we hope that in the future, the Times recognizes that fabricating scurrilous accusations in an effort to sell newspapers completely undermines their credibility and guarantees that any profits made from selling such garbage will be disgorged in litigation. Now, the Times has since concluded that the FBI reports were fabricated and that some of the other sources relied on, including the person Phillips previously believed to be the confidential source cited in the FBI reports, do not support major elements of the story. Now, this was all in reference to the Quad Studios shooting. Okay, now remember, it was alleged that James Roseman, aka Jimmy Henchman, and Andre Harrell and Diddy had a meeting that day, okay, in Quad Studios, and that they knew what was going to happen to Tupac because they were planning it, and that Biggie didn't have any knowledge of it. Okay, that was the allegation. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say, hold on, let me find my place. Along with retracting the front page web story from March 17th, a shorter version that appeared in the actual paper on March 19th, the Times also retracted the text from that as well. Now, Times Soundboard blog from March 2021, or March the 21st, I'm sorry, they also removed it. Now, after an internal investigation into the report, the Times said it now believes that Sabatino forged the FBI reports and concocted his role in the assault, as well as his supposed relationships with Combs and Rosemond. As a result, the paper specifically retracted all the statements in the article and the web post that suggested that Rosemond and Sabatino orchestrated or played any role in the assault on Shakur, or that they lured him into an ambush at the Quad Studios. Now, to the extent these publications could be interpreted as creating the impression that Combs was involved in arranging the attack, the Times wishes to correct that misimpression, which was neither stated in the article nor intended. Now, the paper also apologized for mistakenly reporting that Rosemond has served prison time for drug dealing and was convicted in 1996 of drug offenses, although Rosemond did admit to MTV News last month that at some point during the mid-90s, he says, I was in prison dealing with some legal issues I had. He declined to elaborate any further. Okay, so I'm sorry, but that all sounds like pressure to me. Like somebody was pressured to change stories, okay? That's what that sounds like. Because I scarcely think, because the main thing, if they don't mention it in this article, but in the previous articles when I reported on this before, they specifically said that Chuck Phillips had the documents vetted by a former FBI agent. And you see, that's what an investigative journalist would do. So I don't think that those documents were fake at all. I think they were absolutely legit. And I think that this was all done to cover for Diddy. Okay, like I said. Now, with that all being said, rare photo shows Tupac murder suspect Dwayne Keefe D. Davis with shooter Orlando Anderson. Questions about hold on. As the rapper's brother, and that would be Shakur, as the rapper's brother says, there are still questions about co-conspirators that need to be answered. Now, a newly surfaced image of Davis has since appeared on social media, showing himself and his nephew, Orlando Baby Anderson, who had previously been named as a suspect in the shooting of Tupac Shakur. Now, in the image, which is said to have been taken in 1991, Davis can be seen standing in the middle of a group of 5 men. Anderson can be seen on the left side of his uncle, clutching a bottle of champagne. Okay, I'm going to show this picture. Lights up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, there's the picture right there. As you can see, that's Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in the black suit. And then Orlando Anderson is the tallest guy in the cream-colored pants and T-shirt with the writing. Okay. Now, in this article, there's also an interview with Shakur that I'm going to play just as soon as I put this overlay on the screen.
Whatever your business needs, Vistaprint can print it. Like packaging from tape to thank you cards, or merch from t-shirts to caps, even a logo that you can put on all that. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. New customers get 25% off at Vistaprint.com.
The family, Mopreme, have been calling for justice for years and years. Keefe D is not a new name to them. It's also not the only name. How does this information hit your heart?
I'm taken aback after so many years of dealing with this trauma. I'm cautiously optimistic. Any accountability at this point is good for us It helps us heal. But you know, we're gonna see how it all turns out.
What is the family's suspicion about why it took so long, and what is still to be revealed?
It's beyond me, my brother. I mean, you know, like you said earlier, this guy has been out there. He's been doing podcasts, interviews, YouTube. He's not writing a book. He wrote a book. They've known the whole 27 years that he was in the car.
This is unfinished business for the family in terms of closure, obviously, and you don't believe that you're one name away from understanding who was behind what happened to your brother, right?
Well, you know, there's still questions that still need to be answered. If there was conspirators, the actual motive, you know, and I assume, you know, these things will come out over time. I don't know exactly what to believe. Some things I could take for what it is, like the fight at the casino. But again, to Las Vegas PD, why haven't we ever seen any footage outside the casino on the streets where the actual assassination happened?
Now, and that's a very good question. Why haven't there ever been any footage shown from outside? Don't they have cameras outside of those casinos? Of course they do. Okay, then and now. So I find it all interesting. But hold on. Because here's another one. Tupac's killer finally revealed. New Netflix documentary claims the late Orlando Anderson pulled the trigger as filmmakers call for his uncle Keefe D. Davis to be arrested for being an accessory to the 1996 murder. Dwayne Keith Davis, also known as Keefe D, confesses he was in the car when a fellow passenger pulls the trigger and shot Tupac dead, or pulled the trigger. A Netflix documentary reveals in taped confessions under immunity, he claims that his own nephew, Orlando Anderson, pulled the trigger. Executive producer of Netflix's Unsolved, Kyle Long, has called for Las Vegas Police Department to pursue Keefe D. He went live on television and confessed to being an accessory to murder, and the Las Vegas PD, as far as I know, is doing nothing about it. Okay, this is what Long said. Anderson died in a gang shooting in 1998, but always denied involvement in Tupac's murder. Listen, they know exactly who killed Tupac. I'm sorry, they know now, and they've always known, okay? Now, I'm going to go to this video of Keefe D. Davis. And again, I'm going to put an overlay on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on just a second. I'm going to put some music on in the background. Turn it down just a little bit.
Keefe D and his entourage get into a white Cadillac. Along with Keefe D, the driver is a guy named Terrence Brown. They call him Bubble Up. Behind the driver is DeAndre Smith. He's in the left rear passenger seat. And Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, he's sitting behind the right front passenger seat. All Southside Crips.
One of the homies said Death Row guys were going to have a concert at the 662 Club. So we went to the 662 Club.
I ran the door at the 662. I seen Orlando and them when they pulled up in the Cadillac. And I told my homies, Southside's up here. My homies that was at 662, everybody had their guns. We knew it was going to be something. They said about 5 minutes.
Tupac and Suge, they never show up. So we left.
Keefe D and crew go back towards the strip.
Stop and got some liquor. We was gonna party. little drinks.
Meanwhile, Tupac and Suge are driving towards the 662 Club. Behind them, there were some girls screaming, Tupac, Tupac.
We came up Harlem, and here he coming at BMW. All the chicks was like, Tupac, Tupac. And he was like, hey, like a celebrity, like he was in the parade. He wouldn't even been out the window. We would have never seen him. My partner busted you. When we pulled up, I was in the front seat. Happened to see my friend, Chill.
Shug looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he was him.
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
To keep it for the cold of the streets. It just came from the back seat, bro.
We will now begin our moment of silence.
Okay, so you all heard that. He said he's going to keep with the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat. You've already told us enough. Just go ahead and say who pulled the trigger already. Okay, but he did eventually say that it was his nephew, Orlando Babylane Anderson. Okay, so now that all of this has resurfaced, so now they're saying that above all the drama said Diddy needs to go down for this. Absolutely, and that's why I stay on him. DJ Big Six said this is so sad. Yes, it absolutely is. Okay, it absolutely is. And this is why I absolutely despise Diddy. Okay? And will keep my foot on his neck. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about how Foxy Brown plays a role in this. Because they want her to be the key witness in this case. Like so, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Thank you. It costs you nothing. Okay? It costs you nothing. Now, according to a recent news report, Brooklyn rapper Foxy Brown is now recognized as a key witness for the prosecution in the Tupac murder trial. Prosecutors are seeking to have Brown act as a witness and provide evidence that reputed Southside Crip Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was in Las Vegas on September the 7th of 1996, something that Davis has denied. Now, the Clark County District Attorney's Office is forming a list of witnesses that can place Davis in Vegas on the night of Tupac's murder. But Keefe D. Davis says there's no proof that he was in Sin City on that night, on that fateful night in September. According to reports, Foxy allegedly saw Keefe D in Vegas and even interacted with him before Tupac's shooting later that night. And here's the thing. Did we not just hear this liar say himself? He just described the whole scene. He said that Tupac was in the BMW. He was hanging out of the window. And had he not been hanging out of the window, we wouldn't even have known that was him. That's what he said. He just said who all was in the car. The gunshot came from the back seat. Didn't want to say who did it. He's already implicated himself. So now for him to try to backpedal and act as though he wasn't even there, this is all ridiculous, okay? This is all ridiculous. Now, in his book, Compton Street Legend, Davis admitted to meeting with Brown the night of Pac's murder, but now says that anything he said in the book was fabricated. Well, of course you'd say that now that you're in jail, okay, facing murder charges. In the book, Davis wrote, as I walked up to the driver's side window, I noticed that the rapper Foxy Brown was in the car with Eric Von Zip. Now, that's the person they say allegedly took off with the money. Okay? They say he opened a restaurant or something. So he instructed her to step out of the car and motioned for me to jump in. Zip had a hidden compartment that he opened up, reached in, and pulled a black 40 Glock out. He then turned to me and said, it's time to get the money. He continued saying that Zip handed me the 17-shot pistol, which I promptly put down the back waist of my pants. I hopped out of the car, held the door open for Foxy Brown to get back in, closed the door, and they pulled off. Prosecutors are now trying to get Brown, whose real name is Inga Merkand, to corroborate the story told by Davis in the book on the witness stand. Now, the trial has been pushed back to November, with Davis's new attorney asking for more time to go over the case's discovery. The 60-year-old Davis is currently sitting behind bars with a $750,000 bail, but could go home on an ankle monitor if he came up with bail money. Okay? Listen, what he said in the beginning, what he said in that book, it's absolutely true. He wasn't lying. He didn't write that book because he was lying. He wrote it because he was telling the truth, because he was there, because he did go and meet up with Zip, because Foxy Brown was in the car, because he did get the 40 Glock and put it in his waist, because he did pass it over to Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, his nephew, in the back seat, because Orlando is and was the shooter. Okay? That's what it is. Now, he can try to change his story all he wants because he doesn't want to go down. And see, here's the thing. This is the most important part of this thing that we need to pay attention to. One could say and question, why would he tell on himself? Like I said in the TikTok video, he thought that he had immunity. When he had that meeting with the detectives years prior, and they told him, whatever you tell us in this meeting, Detective Greg Kading, who was the homicide detective that at the time was investigating Tupac's murder, told him at the time, you know, if you tell us what you know, we won't use anything said in this interview against you. And so he went on and said everything that he knew, which was the truth, I'm sure. And then later thought, hey, I can profit from this. So I'm just going to write a book. I mean, after all, they can't use it against me. But that's where he messed up. Because they told him specifically, we can't use anything that you say in this interview against you. We won't do that. That didn't mean for him to go out and start running his mouth and writing books and during all these different interviews, admitting to the same things that he admitted to them during the interview. You see, that's where he messed up. That's where he messed up at the end of the day. So with that all being said, they spotted Diddy in LA. Tehran says Puffy wanted to sign Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, he did, and he was mad about it. But here's the thing. He was also a hater. Let's go to my other TikTok real quick where I talk about, because there were some rumors going around online that came from Reggie Wright. He said something about it looked like it was either him. Wait a minute. It may have been Dwayne Keefedy Davis. I don't want to allow anybody. I think it came from Dwayne Keefedy Davis. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it came from. Basically tried to imply or insinuate that Diddy and Tupac had something going on. Please sit down. Yes, Tupac did absolutely know that Diddy was zesty. Way back then, okay? I know that for a fact. All right, so that all been said, let's get into it. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. There's a video going around where they're trying to say that Diddy and Tupac were a couple and that they had a lover's quarrel, and that's what led to their feud. Well, it sounds so ridiculous, I know, but let's get into it.
Why would Diddy get a tattoo of Tupac's skull over his heart?
All the people in the industry know at one time Pac and Puff was like this. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me.
Whatever they may have done, and you gotta remember, they was all swingers. It came to the point where him and Pac wasn't cool no more at all.
Here's Combs and Tupac at Sean Combs' birthday party. This is the last time the two would be seen in public together. Something happened between them that night that ended their relationship. Did Tupac break up with Diddy on Diddy's birthday? Well, less than a month later...
They then went on to talk about how Tupac was injured about a month later in the Quad Studios incident by Diddy's associates. And then they said this.
Puffy's associate. Insiders have speculated that the East Coast-West Coast rivalry was a lover's quarrel gone awry. This tattoo over Diddy's heart confirms exactly that.
The only thing that video confirms is that someone has a very wild imagination and is clearly reaching and painting narratives. But the other thing is, Gene Deal said that they were swingers back then. Well, they weren't swingers by the definition. You see, swingers are married couples who engage in intimate acts and certain things with other couples, okay, like swapping mates or whatever. That's absolutely not what was going on because Tupac wasn't married. At the end of the day, now maybe they were having some things going on with different people around. Who knows? But the bottom line is, Diddy was absolutely obsessed with Pac. And who is most likely to be obsessed with any of us? Well, our haters. You see, our haters watch everything that we do, and they try to mimic our styles. They try to copy us from head to toe. And they even go after the people that we date or the people whom they see admiring us. This is what haters do. Trust me, I would know. But let's continue. Now, Gene Deal was absolutely right about Diddy being obsessed with Pac. I mean, he copied his style. Look at him. Pac was the first one to start wearing Versace shirts. Okay, the first rapper that was. And then you had Diddy doing the exact same thing. Gene Deal's absolutely right when he says that Diddy was obsessed with Tupac. It wasn't that he was simply copying his style and his clothing, but he wanted to do everything that Pac was doing. According to Gene Deal and other former associates of Diddy's, he was wanting to become a rapper because Pac was rapping. He wanted to start getting into movies because Pac was. He even had interest in the same women that had interest in Pac, or that Pac had interest in. Please pay attention. Sarah Chapman dated Tupac first, and then Diddy dated Sarah Chapman, and in fact had a child with her. Also, they say allegedly that after Tupac dated Sally Richardson, then Diddy dated Sally Richardson. And also Kim Porter liked Tupac, and then Diddy went after Kim Porter. Now this is what they say. But also, I wonder how Diddy felt when he and Kim and Quincy were together, and then Kim did this. You see, Kim showed up wearing a picture of Tupac on her shirt. Wow, I bet that really had to sting Diddy's ego. But not only that, the other thing is Diddy and Tupac, well, they were friends at once. And in fact, Tupac was going to sign to Bad Boy, but he didn't, and the friendship ended. Well, why is that? Well, because allegedly, Diddy wanted Tupac to be in those FOs that he was having. Please pay attention. Now, according to former associates of Diddy's, prior to the Quad City Studios incident, Diddy was supposedly upset because Pac wasn't going to sign with his record label and didn't want to do any business with him. And then also, Suge said this.
People. Pac only attacked the people who wasn't right with the community. If it was a rapper that messed with guys and go both ways, Pac didn't feel that was good. So if you're a producer or you rap, regardless if you're married or not, and you got a boyfriend that works for you, a real boyfriend who used to be a dancer, Pac would studied all the facts. Pac was real smart. So before he say something, he'd go and do his homework. He'd say, okay, this guy raised. I'm not going to put it out there on him yet, but I'm going to do my research. And if it's true, the world...
So just from Suge's description, it sounded like he was talking about Diddy. And he also said that Pac was saying that the world should know. So he was going to expose this. At the end of the day, wouldn't that make Diddy upset enough to have this whole thing planned out to go down at Quad Studios? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying he absolutely did, but that's where it's all pointing to, and that's what I absolutely believe. Another thing is, how many other people who were going to say things about Diddy turned up deceased? Please pay attention. So in conclusion, this whole thing about a lover's quarrel is so ridiculously, insidiously obtuse. You see, the bottom line is, Diddy was upset because Tupac wasn't down with what he was into. And at the end of the day, Tupac knew that Diddy was zesty and was planning to expose him. Okay, that's how that all went down. And how did Tupac know that Diddy was zesty? Well, because he likely did the same thing to Tupac that he did to Columbus Short. He tried it. Please pay attention. Now, that's what happened right there, okay? That's what happened. That's what started the whole beef, all right? That's what started the whole beef. Tupac knew he was zesty, all right? Please pay attention. So that all being said, my time here is up, beloveds. I have to run. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I run, let me tell you about Diddy being spotted in L.A. So, and it all looks so sketchy, okay? I think I know a drug deal when I see one. Diddy spotted randomly standing on sidewalk in Los Angeles. People question what he's doing. Looks like he was buying him a bag of that Coca-Cola, is all I'm saying. All right? So on Wednesday, Or it says, Diddy was recently spotted randomly standing on the sidewalk with a man in Los Angeles, and people are wondering, people are having a field day speculating what the disgraced hip-hop mogul was doing. On Wednesday, June the 12th, TMZ obtained fan-captured video footage of Diddy standing on a sidewalk in West Hollywood, California, talking to an unidentified man. Now, in the video clip, which I'll show you in a second, the fan rides by in a car and yells out, "Yo, Diddy, what's up, bro? What's good?" All right. So anyway, hold on. Now, Instagram blog Hollywood Unlocked shared the video on IG, and the clip got plenty of reactions from people speculating what was going on with Diddy in the random sighting. Somebody said, Diddy looked like he hanging in the trenches. Someone else said, look like he's talking to the plug. That's exactly what it looks like. Somebody said, Diddy breathing in all that good air as long as he can. Now, Diddy has been a trending topic in the news for all the wrong reasons over the last several months as a result of multiple lawsuits filed against him, as well as a reported SEX trafficking investigation, though there may be a bigger storm coming. Okay, he appears to be taking it all in stride. Oh, there is a bigger storm coming. And I want you all to pay attention, because remember that video that Diddy posted that I showed you where he talked about weathering the storm? Yeah, so please pay attention. Now, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this video. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to put these overlays on the screen because TMZ doesn't play about their content. Hold on just a second. Share my screen. Like stuff, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Thank you for your cooperation.
Yo, Diddy, what's up, bro? Good, man. Happy Wednesday to you, bro. Thank you, man. Yo, Diddy, what's up, bro? Good, man. Happy Wednesday to you, bro. Thank you, man.
Okay, so with that all being said, I'm sure you all can see that very well, so hold on. I'm going to show a still shot. I'm going to show a still shot because, unfortunately, my overlay was covered. Okay, so here is a still shot. Now, what does he look like he's doing is what I want you all to tell me. There he is right there with some random dude, okay? It looks like just what people said it looks like he was meeting up with a plug. And let's not forget that allegedly Diddy has a substance abuse problem. All right. So I'm not saying that's exactly why he was there, but that's what it looks like, in my opinion. So, and you know, I've been telling you all for the past few weeks, Juju said a whole mess. Obsidian Blaze says, who scares me? I don't go there. Okay. So Obsidian, hold on. Overthought said he got a check from the Bad Boys movie. DJ Big Six said Dizzy definitely one of them people. Okay, Terry Hartfield said he needs his fix. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Effing with the street dealers. Okay. Reeducated Soul said looked like he about to cop up. His mule got exposed. He got to go hand to hand himself. Exactly. So with that all being said, please pay attention. It's all nefarious, and at the end of the day, it looks like Diddy's going down in more ways than one. Okay, and I hope that Foxy Brown does testify in the case as a key witness, because I really want to know what she has to say and what all she saw, and not only saw but heard. Because if she was actually in the car, which I believe she was, she likely heard exactly what Dwayne Keefe Davis and Zip were talking about. Another thing is she may not testify, because sometimes people talk about they don't want to snitch and all of this, that, and the third, which if she testifies, that wouldn't be snitching. She's just a regular citizen who may have information on a crime that actually transpired. Okay, snitching is when you've committed a crime yourself and now you're trying to tell on someone else so that you don't get as much time. Okay, so with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Leon said can't hide. Absolutely. So everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. I'll be going live on the backup channel later on today, but right now I have to run. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin. God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther. Shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people. I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got